Hi, welcome to this week's memory quiz, which is about St. George's Day and of course England. So we're going to be looking at some facts about England, some of the history. We're going to look at some London landmarks and then elsewhere in England as well. We're going to look at some historical figures, some fictional characters, some sporting heroes. We're going to touch on food and drink. And also then we're going to look at musicians. I've got some great music lined up for you, so I hope you enjoy this one. I'll catch you later. Oh, don't forget to give me a like, comment if you can, and also subscriptions really help my algorithm, apparently. Catch you later. Okay, so here are some facts about England, a land of history, culture, and innovation. So where is England? England's part of the United Kingdom along with Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. It's the largest country in the UK. The capital city is London. The population is about 57 million and the language mainly is English. The national flower is the Tudor rose. England is rich in history that spans thousands of years from Roman times to medieval castles, great monarchs like Elizabeth I, and we can see the Tower of London there. There are loads of famous landmarks, including Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, Stonehenge and St. Paul's Cathedral. There's some beautiful countryside as well, from the rolling hills of the Cotswolds to the stunning Lake District and the White Cliffs of Dover. England's countryside is breathtaking. England's rich in culture and heritage, in literature, music, art and theatre. Famous authors include William Shakespeare and Jane Austen. Food and drink, well, traditional dishes include the Sunday roast, fish and chips and Yorkshire pudding. And don't forget to try a classic English breakfast and afternoon tea. We're rich in sports as well, with football, rugby, cricket and tennis being hugely popular, and Wimbledon is the oldest tennis tournament in the world. Industry and innovation, England's played a major role in the Industrial Revolution and continues to lead in science, technology, medicine and engineering. The flag is St. George's Cross. The national anthem is God Save the King, and the patron saint is St. George. Did you know England has many UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including Stonehenge, Tower of London, Blenheim Palace, the City of Bath, and Durham Cathedral and Castle? So it's a proud nation with a proud past and a bright future. And I'm glad to be in Wales and have England as my neighbour. Next we'll look at some historic events that shaped England, made it what it is today. Firstly, the Norman Conquest, 1066, and William the Conqueror. This was when the Battle of Hastings took place. William became the King of England and introduced major changes to English society, including the feudal system, new laws, and the Domesday Book. Next, in 1215, the signing of the Magna Carta. King John was forced by rebel barons to sign the Magna Carta at Runnymede. It limited the king's power and established that everyone, including the king, was subject to the law. It became the foundation for modern rights and democracy. Then there was the Black Death between 1347 and 1351, a devastating plague that swept through England and killed between 1/3 to 1/2 of the population. It had a huge impact on society, the economy, and labour, and led to major social change. And I believe it was caused by rats. Next is the Act of Supremacy, 1534, when Henry VIII declared himself the supreme head of the Church of England and broke away from the Catholic Church in Rome. This allowed him to control the Church's wealth and appoint church officials. Following this was the dissolution of the monasteries. Many monasteries and nunneries were dissolved, destroyed, or repurposed. Valuable religious buildings, art and treasures were lost, reflecting the major religious and political changes in England. Next we have the Gunpowder Plot in 1605. A group of Catholic conspirators led by Guy Fawkes planned to blow up the Houses of Parliament during the state opening on the 5th of November. They planned to kill James I, and the idea was to get a Catholic back on the throne. But the plot was foiled. Guy Fawkes was captured in the cellar beneath Parliament and later hung, drawn and quartered. And this is where Guy Fawkes Night comes from. Also, every state opening in Parliament now requires a check of the cellars under the Houses of Parliament. I mean, that's largely ceremonial, but it's still done every year. Next is the Great Fire of London in 1666. A fire broke out in Pudding Lane on the 2nd of September and raged for 4 days, destroying much of London. Only 6 people were killed, which is an amazing fact. It led to the rebuilding of the city with better building regulations, wider streets, and improved fire breaks. Next is the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, where British forces, led by Admiral Horatio Nelson, defeated Napoleon Bonaparte, the French and Spanish fleets in a decisive naval battle off the coast of Spain. Nelson was killed in action, but Britain secured naval supremacy, and he's honoured in Trafalgar Square, as we all know. Next is World War I, from 1914 to 1918. A global conflict involving Britain and its allies took place against the Central Powers, which were Germany, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. Over 1 million British soldiers were killed, and the poppy became a symbol of remembrance for those who lost their lives. And on every November the 11th, we remember the fallen. And finally, the Battle of Britain in 1940, and Churchill's leadership. During World War II, the Royal Air Force defended Britain against German air attacks between July and October 1940. Churchill's leadership and the pilots' bravery helped secure victory and prevent invasion. We'd be a very different country now if we'd lost the war to Hitler. So that's the history out the way. Next we'll look at some English idioms, sayings and proverbs. A piece of cake, very easy. Raining cats and dogs, raining very heavily. Keep your chin up, stay cheerful, don't lose hope. The early bird catches the worm. If you act early, you'll be rewarded. Bite the bullet. Face a difficult situation with courage. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't expect something to happen before it actually does. A stitch in time saves 9. Fix the problem early and you'll avoid bigger problems later on. Every cloud has a silver lining. There's something positive in every bad situation. A rolling stone gathers no moss. People are always moving around, don't settle or achieve much. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. You must try something to know if it's any good. Besides the point, irrelevant, not related to the current discussion. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't risk everything on a single plan or opportunity. Where there's a will, there's a way. Determination can overcome obstacles. Actions speak louder than words. What you do is more important than what you say. And two wrongs don't make a right. It's wrong to respond to a bad action with another bad action. So the English language is rich with colour, wisdom and insight. You could stop the video here and think about any other proverbs or sayings that you can come up with. Right, it's time for a song break. While you listen to this song, have a look at these London landmarks. There are 10 of them. See how many of them you can name, and also how many of them you've visited, and which was your favourite or the most impressive.
Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, flowing into the night? People so busy, make me feel dizzy, taxi lights shine so bright. But I don't need no friend, as long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Every day I look at the world from my window. Chilly, chilly is evening time. Waterloo sunset time. Waterloo sunset time. Waterloo Station every Friday night. But I am so lazy, don't want to wander, I stay at home at night. But I don't feel afraid, as long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise.
Okay, so what London landmarks were there? Firstly, there was the London Eye, a giant observation wheel on the south bank of the River Thames, offering stunning views of the city. I think a single rotation takes about 32 minutes. Next was St. Paul's Cathedral, an iconic Anglican cathedral with a magnificent dome designed by Sir Christopher Wren. Has anyone been inside the Whispering Gallery? It's really interesting to hear the echoes. Next is the Houses of Parliament and the Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is the biggest bell. So this is the historic home of the UK Parliament, and it's one of London's most recognisable landmarks. And what do you think of our current Prime Minister, Keir Starmer? How do you think he's doing? Next, we've got the O2 Arena, a large indoor entertainment venue on the Greenwich Peninsula, hosting concerts, events, and more. And actually, there's a walk right across the top of the dome. Very impressive, but oh my gosh, you need to be quite fit and active to do that. Next is Trafalgar Square, known for Nelson's Column and the National Gallery. Then we've got the Tower of London, a historic castle on the River Thames, known for its fascinating history and the crown jewels. Has anyone seen the crown jewels? What did you think? The Koh-i-Noor, I think, is the biggest jewel. Next up, we've got the Royal Albert Hall, a world-famous concert hall in South Kensington, performing classical music and modern events, including the last night of the proms. Has anyone been to see the last night of the proms or watched it on TV? I love it. Then we've got Buckingham Palace, which sits at the end of the Mall. It's the official London residence of the British monarch, King Charles III, and the site of the changing of the guard. And then we've got Tower Bridge, an iconic Victorian bridge that can be raised to allow ships to pass along the River Thames underneath it. And finally, one of the newest buildings is the Shard, Western Europe's tallest building, offering breathtaking views of London from its observation decks. Has anyone been up it? I have. There's a champagne bar right at the top. It's a very special event. Right, so it's time for our next song break, and while you listen to it, look at these English landmarks. There are 10 of them dotted around the country, not in London. See how many of them you can name, and also how many of them you visited.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a tile red shirt, a deep forest green. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Sparrow and snow crested cloud, without no seam nor lights, and neck close the child of vent. She'll be a true love of mine. Wherever cloudy and calm, tell her to find me a savor of love, a sprinkling of me. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and washes the bright side between the salt water and salty strands and polishes of pen. She'll be a true love of mine.
So here are the English landmarks we just looked at. Firstly, there was Stonehenge, which was built about 2,500 years before Christ. It's one of the world's most famous prehistoric monuments and was likely used for ceremonies and to observe the movements of the sun, and it's still visited widely on Midsummer's Eve and Midsummer's Day. Then we've got Windsor Castle, the world's oldest and largest occupied castle. It's been home to British kings and queens for over 900 years and is still a royal residence to this day. Next up is York Minster, one of the largest Gothic cathedrals in Northern Europe. Its construction began in 1220 and took over 250 years to complete. Has anyone been there? You can walk through the shambles, the narrow streets, up to it. So impressive. Next is Bath Spa. Built around 70 AD before Christ, these baths were part of a grand Roman temple complex. The hot spring still flows today and is the city's natural wonder, but you can't bathe in the waters anymore because of a microorganism So they've built a new set of modern baths, which cleans the water, and it's a lovely temperature. Next we've got the White Cliffs of Dover, iconic white chalk cliffs facing France across the English Channel, a symbol of Britain and a vital part of the country's natural defences. And who remembers the Vera Lynn song, Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover? Next is Hadrian's Wall, built by Roman Emperor Hadrian around 122 AD. It once stretched 73 miles across northern England to protect the Roman Empire. Does anyone remember those people cutting down the sycamore tree in the Sycamore Gap? That was awful, wasn't it? Our next landmark is Eden in Cornwall, home to huge biomes housing plants from around the world. It was built in the former clay pit and opened in 2001 as a global environmental attraction. I believe there's a new one going to be built in Morecambe. Next we've got the Angel of the North, a 66-foot tall steel sculpture by Anthony Gormley, completed in 1998. It symbolises the region's heritage and looks out over the landscape. It's huge. Our next one is Iron Bridge in Shropshire, the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. It was the world's first bridge made of cast iron. And finally, my favourite, the North York Moors Railway, a heritage railway through scenic moorland and charming villages. Many steam trains still run today, and I love this preservation of railway history. And of course there are loads more landmarks to choose from. What would you add to that list? England's rich in history, heritage and natural beauty, from ancient monuments to modern marvels. We're very lucky to have it on our island of Great Britain. So our next round is English male historic characters. How many of these 10 do you recognise? How many of them can you name? One of them composed this song, or piece of music I should say. That's such a rousing piece of music, isn't it? Well, here are the answers to our male historic characters. Firstly, Henry VIII, King of England, famous for his 6 wives. Can anyone think of the names of his 6 wives? And that rhyme helps you remember them. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. They were Catherine of Aragon, Anne Boleyn, James Seymour, Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr. Of course, he also broke with Rome and began the English Reformation, which we mentioned earlier on. Next was William Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon, playwright and poet, author of 37 plays and 154 sonnets. His works are considered some of the greatest in the English language. Next is Isaac Newton, a mathematician, physicist and astronomer who discovered the law of gravity. Do you remember the apple falling on his head? He made fundamental contributions to science and mathematics. Next is J.M.W. Turner, painter and watercolourist, master of landscape and light. His works captured the beauty and power of nature. And one of his works, The Fighting Téméraire, features on the reverse side of our £20 note. Has anyone had a good look at it? It's a great painting. Next is Isambard Kingdom Brunel, engineer and innovator. He built the Great Western Railway and designed iconic structures, including Brunel's Bridge and the SS Great Britain. I think one of his best works is the Clifton Suspension Bridge. It's beautiful. Then we've got Charles Darwin, naturalist and biologist. He developed the theory of evolution by natural selection. His work revolutionized our understanding of life on Earth. And do you remember the name of his ship? The Beagle. Great name. Next is Charles Dickens, novelist and social critic. He wrote classics including Oliver Twist and A Christmas Carol. He also highlighted social injustices of his time. Next is Edward Elgar, and we heard from the Last Night of the Proms, Land of Hope and Glory. He's best known for his Pomp and Circumstance marches and the Enigma variations, and he's one of England's greatest composers. Next is Winston Churchill, statesman and Prime Minister during World War II. He inspired the nation with his leadership and unyielding resolve. He was also a champion of democracy and freedom. And finally, Alan Turing, mathematician and computer scientist. He helped break the Enigma code in World War II and saved countless lives. He also pioneered early computing and artificial intelligence. He was a gay man who was chemically castrated and later committed suicide. Sadly, a great war hero. Gladly, his face appears on the reverse side of our £50 note. Take a look at it next time you open your wallet, if you've got a 50 note in there. Okay, we'll have our next piece of patriotic music now. And while you listen, take a look at these 10 English female historic characters. How many of them do you recognise, and how many of them can you name? Okay, so who did we have there? Here are our English female historic characters, names and details. First of all, we had Britannia, the personification of Britain and a symbol of strength and unity. She first appeared on Roman coins and has become a lasting national icon. Does anyone remember the 1 penny piece pre-decimal coin? I think she was on that, wasn't she? Then we have Queen Elizabeth I, who was known as the Virgin Queen, and she led Britain to a golden age of exploration and the arts. Next is Jane Austen, a celebrated author known for her insightful and timeless novels, including Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. Next is Queen Victoria, who reigned for 63 years during the, obviously, Victorian era. She oversaw the expansion of the British Empire and major social and industrial change. Then we've got Florence Nightingale, who pioneered modern nursing during the Crimean War. Her work improved hospital hygiene and saved countless lives. She was known as the Lady with the Lamp. Then we've got Emmeline Pankhurst, who was the leader of the British suffragette movement. She fought for women's right to vote through protest and perseverance. Next is Agatha Christie, the world's best-selling mystery author. She wrote 66 detective novels, including Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. And next we have Enid Blyton, one of Britain's most popular children's authors, who wrote over 700 books, including the famous 5 and the Noddy series, something I'm sure we all remember from our childhoods. Next we've got Queen Elizabeth II, who reigned for 70 years and died just a couple of years ago in 2022. The longest reign of any British monarch. She modernised the monarchy and became a beloved figure worldwide. And finally, Princess Diana, beloved humanitarian and Princess of Wales, also the Princess People's Hearts, known for her charity and her compassion around the world. And so we come to our next round, English male fictional characters this time. How many of these 10 characters do you recognise? How many of them can you name? Can you guess which song is coming next?
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch, a spider's touch, such a cold finger beckons you to enter his web of sin. Kiss
And that song was beautifully performed by Shirley Bassey, who's actually a Welsh girl, the girl from Tiger Bay. But I think it's okay to allow it in an English memory quiz. Anyway, here's the answers for the English male fictional characters round. Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a brilliant detective known for his sharp mind, observation skills and love of deduction, and his sidekick was Dr. John Watson. Then we had Harry Potter, created by J.K. Rowling, a young wizard who discovers he's famous in the magical world and faces the dark wizard, Voldemort. And his friends were Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, I think. Then we have Hercule Poirot, created by Agatha Christie, a meticulous Belgian detective known for his little grey cells and impeccable manners. James Bond, created by Ian Fleming, a suave British secret agent, codename 007, who saves the world with style, intelligence and gadgets, and his favourite drink? A martini, shaken, not stirred. Next was Robin Hood, an English folk legend, an outlaw who steals from the rich to help the poor in Sherwood Forest, his arch enemy, the Sheriff of Nottingham. Next is Frodo Baggins, created by J.R.R. Tolkien, first appeared in The Hobbit. He undertakes a perilous quest to destroy the One Ring and save Middle-earth. Next is Doctor Who, first appeared in 1963 on TV, a time-travelling Time Lord who explores the universe in the TARDIS, fighting evil and saving lives. And I think this Doctor Who was Peter Capaldi, but the one previously featured in that photograph was David Tennant. Then we've got Paddington Bear, created by Michael Bond, a polite bear from Peru who arrives in London in search of a new home and kind people, who keeps marmalade sandwiches in his hat. Do you remember he offered the Queen one? Then was Peter Pan, created by J.M. Barrie, the boy who never grew up and lives in Neverland with fairies, pirates and adventurers. And finally King Arthur, the legendary king who united Britain and wielded the magical sword Excalibur. How many of those did you get? I hope you recognised them all. And next up we have English female fictional characters. See how many of these you recognise and can name. While we listen to this song from one of the characters featured.
You see, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game. And every task you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way. A robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest while gathering his bits of twine and twig. Though quite intent in his pursuit, he has a merry tune to toot. He knows a song will move the job along. For a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, the medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in a most delightful way.
So the answers to that round were Miss Marple, created by Agatha Christie, a shrewd amateur detective from the quiet English village of St Mary Mead. Then we had Mary Poppins, and we heard Julie Andrews singing there, created by P.L. Travers, a magical nanny who arrives by the east wind and brings joy and adventure. Then we had Alice in Wonderland, created by Lewis Carroll, a curious girl who falls down a rabbit hole into a wonderland of nonsense. Next was Elizabeth Bennet, created by Jane Austen, who featured in Pride and Prejudice, a clever, independent woman who learns the truth about love and herself. And her lover's name, of course, Mark Darcy. Next was Jane Eyre, created by Charlotte Bronte, an orphan who becomes a governess and stays true to her values and her independence. And she does finally end up in the end with Edward Rochester. Next was Tinker Bell, again created by J.M. Barrie and featured in Peter Pan, a tiny fairy from Neverland who's fiercely loyal and full of spirit. Next was Dowager Duchess Crawley, Violet Crawley, created by Julian Fellows in Downton Abbey, known for her wit, wisdom and sharp comebacks. Next was Patsy Stone, created by Jennifer Saunders and absolutely fabulous, and played by Joanna Lumley, a famous larger-than-life fashionista who lives for fun, fizz and freedom. Next we had Catherine Earnshaw, created by Emily Bronte in 1818, a passionate and free-spirited woman whose love defied time and death. And her lover's name, of course, Heathcliff. And finally Bridget Jones, created by Helen Fielding, a single woman navigating love, life and chocolate in a modern London world. Played there by Renée Zellweger. Okay, here's our next round. Top 10 English sporting heroes. How many of these do you recognise? How many of them can you name? There is a Scot here, but he played all his tennis in England, so I think that's okay. Is there anyone missing that you'd like to add? Anyway, here's the song. Okay, so here are the answers to top 10 English sporting heroes. Firstly, Roger Bannister, who was the first person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. He achieved this historic feat on the 6th of May 1954 in Oxford. A medical student who broke a barrier in sport. Next is Bobby Charlton, who won the World Cup in 1966. He scored 2 goals in the semi-final against Portugal, and then England beat West Germany 4-2 after extra time in the final. Next is Ian Botham, a cricketer who played a key role in England's 1981 Ashes victory. He took 8 wickets and scored a vital 149 not out at Headingley, one of the great all-rounders in cricket history. Next is David Beckham, earned 115 caps for England and captained the national team for 6 years, famous for his crossing, free kicks and leadership. Then we've got Johnny Wilkinson, who scored the winning drop goal in extra time to win England's only Rugby World Cup in 2003. He's remembered as one of the greatest moments in English rugby history. Then we've got Lewis Hamilton, who won his first Formula One World Championship in 2008. He was a 7-time world champion, a joint record held with Michael Schumacher. He's one of the most successful and influential Formula One drivers of all time. Next is Jessica Ennis-Hill, who won Olympic gold in the heptathlon at London in 2012. One of Britain's most successful female athletes. Then we got Bradley Wiggins, who was the first British winner of the Tour de France in 2012 and won Olympic gold in the individual time trial at London 2012. Helped inspire a golden era for British cycling. Then we've got Andy Murray, who won Olympic gold in the men's singles at London 2012. A 3-time Grand Slam champion and the first British man to win Wimbledon since 1936. A former world number 1 and Davis Cup winner. And finally we've got Mo Farah, a long distance runner who won Olympic gold in 2012 twice and repeated the double at Rio in 2016. One of Britain's greatest distance runners, famous for his Mobot. Next we've got our top 10 English dishes. How many of them have you tried? How many of them can you name? Here's a song to go with food.
Is it worth the waiting for? If we live till 84, all we ever get is gruel. Every day we say a prayer. Will they change the bill of fare? Still we get the same old gruel. There's not a crust, not a crumb. Can we find? Can we beg? Can we borrow or cash? But there's nothing to stop us from getting a thrill when we all close our eyes and imagine glorious food, hot sausage and mustard, while we're in the mood, cold jelly and custard, peas, pudding and saveloys. What next is the question? Rich gentlemen have his voice in digestion. We're anxious to try it. 3 banquets a day, our favorite diet. Just picture a great big steak, fried Brazil stew.
So what are the top 10 English dishes? Here are the answers. Fish and chips comes in at number 1. Roast beef dinner with Yorkshire pudding, number 2. A full English breakfast including black pudding at number 3. At number 4 is steak and kidney pie with mash and peas. Number 5 is toad in the hole, sausages in batter. An unusual entry at number 6, chicken tikka masala, which was invented in an Indian restaurant in Birmingham, apparently. Number 7, we have sherry trifle, very traditional. And number 8, spotted dick, steamed suet pudding with dried fruit, served with custard. Next is afternoon tea, high tea, with finger sandwiches, scones, cakes and pastries. Gosh, that looks a lot, doesn't it? And finally, and I thought this would come at number 1, is beef burger, specifically McDonald's Big Mac and fries. So out of all of those, which is your favourite? Which would you put at number 1? Or is there something missing? Maybe there's another dish that we should have put in there. And our final round is top 10 English music acts. See how many of these you recognise or can name. And also have a think about your favourite music acts. Perhaps they're not here. And while we look at this and have a think, I've got Elton John, who's one of them. Sorry I gave that away. Singing Candle in the Wind, the tribute to Diana version, which is the best-selling single ever.
Goodbye, England's rose. May you ever grow in our hearts. You were the grace that placed itself where lives were torn apart. You called out to our country and you whispered to those in pain. Now you belong to heaven and the stars spell out your name. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when the rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will. Loveliness we've lost, these empty days without your smile. This torch we'll always carry for our nation's golden child. And even though we try, the truth brings us to tears. All our words cannot express the joy you brought us through the years. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never fading with the sunset when rain set in. And your footsteps will always fall here along England's greenest hills. Your candles burned out long before your legend ever will.
So here are the answers to that final round, our top 10 English music acts answers. Firstly, we had Cliff Richard, one of Britain's longest lasting pop stars with hit records across 8 consecutive decades. His first major hit was Move It in 1958. Next was Adele, known for her powerful ballads like Someone Like You and Hello. She won an Oscar for her James Bond song Skyfall. Next is Kate Bush, famous for Wuthering Heights, the first female artist ever in the UK to reach #1 with a self-written song. She's had hit records and albums across every decade since the 1970s and had a resurgent hit just a couple of years ago with Running Up That Hill. Next is David Bowie, known for reinventing his style and sound, from Ziggy Stardust to the Berlin era. His most famous songs include Heroes and Life on Mars. Next, the wonderful Freddie Mercury, the legendary frontman of Queen, famous for his huge stage presence and vocal range. And Bohemian Rhapsody remains iconic. Then we had Elton John, famous for his flamboyant performances and hits like Rocket Man and Your Song. And as I said, Candle in the Wind became one of the best-selling singles ever. I think it was the best-selling single ever. Next is George Michael, who rose to fame with Wham! Before achieving huge solo success. His most famous songs include Careless Whisper and Faith. Next we've got the Bee Gees, brothers Barry, Robin and Morris, who became global stars with disco classics like Staying Alive and Night Fever. And they had the soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever, which again is one of the biggest selling albums of all time. And following on from the brothers Gibb, we have the Beatles, the Liverpool band that changed popular music worldwide forever. Songs included Hey Jude and Let It Be. And the Fab Four were Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison and Ringo Starr. And finally we have the Rolling Stones, a legendary rock band known for longevity and their live performances, famous for hits like Satisfaction and Paint It Black. So we're coming to the end of our session, but our next song is Jerusalem by Hubert Parry, words by William Blake.
Ooh.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that memory quiz about St. George's Day in England. I did. I really enjoyed putting that together. What did you think of my new format? Tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe, that really helps me out. And if you do like and use my work, you can support costs and buy me a coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com/Simon Dementia. I'll see you next week. I think we're going to have a VE Day sing-along. Anyway, have a great week. Bye for now.